Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 953rd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And what a real cracking battle I've got for you today. This is one of the best battles I've been in for a while now. I'll just show you, this is a custom, one of our new custom maps here. And what I like about this, it's got undulating ground. You've got woods that you can bring barbarian troops to get the woods bonus, or you can hide your troops in there and spring those nasty ambushes. Let's say they've got big, as I say, it's undulating ground, but you've got big open plains. If you go through the woods here, let's say quite a few woods, and then you come up to the big open plains there. So if you want to fight out in the open, but you can see the ground is very undulating, so ground movement will be very important, tactically ground movement. And I'd like to show you this this rock formation, if you like, here. Really good defensive position. Now if the enemy forms up here, okay, this is a really good defensive position for the enemy to do that. So you can attack up through the rock there. Okay, there's no way of attacking up there, so their rear will be completely covered by that rock formation. Okay, if you try to attack from this direction, look, you've got to go uphill. You're going to have to attack uphill if you want to attack them there. Okay, and if you look at the other side as well there, you'll see that there is a slight incline as well. The enemy troops would have to go up that slight incline to attack them as well there. So all in all, that's a pretty good defensive position there if the enemy wanted to take up that position. But as we move further into the map, just once again, look at those big open plains. Yes, there is undulating ground there, but big open plains if you want to fight out in the open. So this is quite an interesting and tactical map as well. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Arminius. Now Arminius has got 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. You'll see that he's got 7 upgrades on his cavalry, an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack there. So that would be a tried and tested Arminius army there. Now our next teammate is Greek clansman Kleomenis. Now just to give you a little bit of history about the Greek clan. When the Greek clan was first started, only people that lived in Greece or spoke Greek could join the clan. Okay, that was the rules when they first started the clan. But of course, as they wanted to expand the clan, they had to then drop that rule and let people in from other countries. Now, just to let you know that the Greek clan's mission on Rome Total War was to be the best clan with the pike and spear factions. And to this end, they used to practice for hours and hours. We used to see them go into battle, come out, talk about what went right, what went wrong, back into battle again, in, out, until, to be honest, I think most RTW players said that the Greek clan were the best clan with the pike and spear factions. Their favourite factions, if I remember correctly, was Greek cities, Macedon and Seleucid. And the reason those three were their kind of best factions is because at that time they were fighting mostly Roman armies, and those three factions can do well against Rome, so that's what they mostly practice on. But of course Pontus was another pike faction that they practice on as well. Greek Kleomenis, to my knowledge, is the only Greek clansman that plays Rome Total War now, and he just comes on just from time to time. But it's nice to see him coming back onto Rome Total War. And if I remember correctly, I think he was the second in command of the Greek clan, if I remember correctly. So as I say, it was nice for him to come onto RTW that night and for him to come into our battle. But as I say, the Greek clan, most people that knew them would say they were the best with the pike and spear factions. Okay, so if you notice here, you'll see that he's got 8 upgrades on some of his pike units. Okay, so 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on some of his pike units, and then others of his pike units, he just got gold shield, gold attack. So he certainly has got mixed upgrades on his pikes there. Now he's got 14 pikes. Let's look at the length of those pikes there that the enemy troops have to fight down. Okay, so he's got 14 pikes. It's an unusual army build, this, I think. 14 pikes, 3 Cappadocian cavalry and 3 chariots. Okay, 14 pikes, 3 Cappadocian cavalry and 3 chariots. There's a Cappadocian cavalry. Okay, on paper they look very good, but actually when you get into a real battle, they don't seem to be that good, to be honest with you. As I say, it's one of those things that on paper you think, oh great, brilliant, but when you actually get into battle they're not that great. Then you've got the infamous Pontus chariots here with their big fear factor, big attacking specifications. But remember, when they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike, and become a menace to both friend and foe alike. And I always say to people, if you're not confident or competent with chariots, really think before you bring them, because of course if they run amok and start killing your allies, you become very unpopular very quickly. So as I say, they've got the potential to be battle winning troops, but they've also got the potential to cause a lot of harm to your team. Okay, and then we've got our next teammate, Brotherhood member Fesen. Now get ready for this. Fesen has just got 19 infantry. Okay, 19 infantry, and he's got kind of mostly Sacred Band, of course, but I think he's got a couple of units like this as well, a town militia. I think he's got 2 or 3 town militia units there, but of course Sacred Band, solid infantry there, is makes up the vast majority of his Carthage army. No cavalry there though. This is a no archer and no slingers battle, by the way, just to let you know. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. Okay, so I've got 15 infantry and 5 cavalry in my army. As I say, this is one of our custom maps. Big open spaces, but you've also got the woods there as well. It's got the potential to be an absolutely cracking battle, and see who you think is going to win near the end. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Lando. Now he's got the old school, old-fashioned, bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Remember, this is a no archer battle. No archers, no slingers, no horse missile troops, or no head hurlers there. So that's his army, tried and tested. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Skema. Now get ready for this, okay? Skema has got 18 pikes, yes, 18 pikes and just 2 cavalry. Oh my gosh. If you look at the upgrades on his battle formation, can you see most of his units, if I remember correctly, have just got gold shield, gold attack on. Okay, as we know, the optimum upgrades for Macedonian Royal Pikemen are 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, because their morale's not that good. Okay, if you look further back in his battle formation, still gold shield, gold attack there. Okay, as I say, their morale's not very good, so experience stripes are very important. There, can you see that line? If you notice the third line back, if you count, it's got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So he's put 1 experience stripe on his third battle line there, and his last battle line, if you count, you'll see he's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on them. Okay, so he's got staggered upgrades through his Macedonians there, but the majority of them are just gold shield, gold attack. Okay, as we know, Macedon morale's not very good, so their morale's, as I say, so a stripe is usually very important. Just look at the length of those pikes that our men have got to fight down. So that'll be an interesting army to watch during the course of the battle, see how well it does. Our next teammate is someone who's called himself Trump Train, but is in fact Scorpion King SR. Now also, get ready for this, 17 infantry and 1 old school armoured cavalry general. So 17 infantry here. Imagine the firepower that he's going to bring to the battlefield with that. And here you've got the old school armoured cavalry general. Just to let you know, up to about 16, 17 years ago, we all used to bring this as our Roman general, until most of us turned to an infantry general there. So this is generally old school, old fashioned there, to see an armoured cavalry general, but 17 infantry. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking of the firepower there. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Tabor. Now Tabor has got 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, just 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. I'm guessing the upgrades on his cavalry are going to be pretty good, as he's only got 12 infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So he's got really elite cavalry there with good upgrades on. So there's the enemy team. As I say, this has got the potential to be an absolute cracking battle, and I really hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd show you Fesen's Carthage battle formation here. This is increasingly becoming his faction of choice, I've noticed now, and he's got very good with Carthage. If you notice, to me, it looks like quite a defensive battle formation there. If the enemy come around the flanks, look, they're going to face those Carthage Sacred Band units there. But of course, defense can be turned into attack at just a click of the button there, can't it? So I just thought that was an interesting battle formation for you to watch. And also, just to let you know, I'm all the way over here on the left flank. Okay, and what the team has decided is we're going all the way over onto the right flank. So I've got quite a long run to get all the way over on that right flank and hopefully not be intercepted by enemy troops as I make my way over to that right flank. Okay, so that's a long way for me to run, and when I get there I think I'm going to be tired, so I hope they don't expect me to go straight into battle as soon as I get there. I usually let the team know I will be tired when I get over there and my troops will need a rest before combat. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you'll see that Lando, one of the most aggressive players on Rome Total War, is moving his blue Scipii army towards two of our allies there. He's moving towards Cleo and Arminius there. Just goes to show how aggressive Lando's going to be in this battle. Cleo can be very aggressive as well. Those of you that haven't played with him or been in his team or anything like that, Cleo can be very, very aggressive. And as you can see there, advancing there with his Pontus army. There'll be a bit of pilot exchanging going on between Scipii and SPQR. Just to say, because there's so many pike and spear factions in this game, some people's computers find it a little bit difficult to kind of run because there's so many big pike units, and so for a little bit of the battle you might notice a little bit of lag, but it will speed up later on in the battle. So as I say, a little bit of pilot exchanging going on there, as I said, between the SPQR army and the Scipii army there. You'll see that Skema has just arrived with his 18 pike units there. And just to pause the game for a second there. So over here you'll see that Fesen just coming out of the woods with his Carthaginians there. And as I say, you can see my army all the way over on the left flank there, running over to try and get over here as fast as I can. I did say to my teammates, try not to get engaged before I get over there, because my troops will need a rest. There you can see the enemy Brutii and Julii forces moving towards his flank as well. Okay, and this is a bit of cavalry positioning there by Arminius. You'll notice there he's got a down slope advantage there. As I say, it's very undulating ground, this map, and he's chosen a very good tactical position to put his cavalry in there, I think. Okay, so as I say here, you can see Arminius is SPQR, purple SPQR army there, moving against Lando's blue Scipii army. There now, Arminius may well have a view of engaging the Scipii army and then charging his cavalry down the slope there into the flank. But I think Lando possibly spotted that. And if you notice there, he's moving his infantry back nearer to his cavalry. Also here, a nice bit of teamwork I'd just like to show you here by Skema. Can you see how he is moving three of his pike units over probably towards the end of Lando's army there, to protect against a cavalry hit. Remember, those pikes are anti-cavalry, and so if those Macedonian pikes units move to the end there, there's no way that Arminius would charge his cavalry in there against anti-pikes, anti-cavalry pikes. Right, you'll see here that Macedon's facing Pontus. Now, if I remember correctly, Macedonians have got 3 extra defense points before any upgrades are even put on to the units there. So what I would suggest here, that Macedon may well have an advantage against the Pontus pikes there, because as I say, they have got 3 extra defense points before any upgrades are even put onto the units there. So here you can see Arminius is now moving his SPQR army back a bit there. And you can see there Cleo being very, very aggressive there at moving his Pontus army towards those Macedonian pikes there. Here you can see Fesen's Carthage troops just coming into the fray there. Now, if you notice here, you'll see the enemy cavalry are chasing Arminius' cavalry away. You've got Lando's cavalry and Tabor's cavalry here. So as I say, the best thing for Arminius' cavalry is to pull back. Okay, here you can see, as I say, the Macedonian pikes there have been brought over to you know, they are anti-cavalry there, and they've been brought over into Lando's army there to help counter any cavalry attack on his infantry. So as I say, nice bit of teamwork there by Skema to put in those pike units over here. Here you'll see that the Macedonians and the Pontus pikes are actually getting involved there. But straight away, can you see that the Pontus pike units there have been quite decimated there? You can see, just looking at the numbers there, how those Macedonian pikes have caused them a lot of casualties there. And it wouldn't surprise me if those Pontus pike units maybe even started to rout those forward units there. And over here, as I say, you can see a joint enemy cavalry attack there to chase Arminius's cavalry away. You'll see that I've brought my cavalry over here to support Arminius there. So cavalry numbers there are about even. So whether the enemy will want to attack, it'll be interesting to see. Now, if you notice here, can you see that Fesen has brought his Carthaginians all the way over to this flank from the woods there? Okay, so he's come all the way over here. Now remember that Carthage punches above its weight against the big 121-man units. So I was surprised to see the Carthaginians go all the way over there, where I thought they might have gone in behind our Pontus ally and then aggressively attack those Macedonian pikes. Here you can see, as we thought, can you see there's a couple of Pontus pike units already routed there. Okay, my infantry is just getting over to this right flank, but if you notice here, can you see they are tired? Now remember the 6 forms of fitness: fresh, warmed up, winded, tired, very tired and exhausted. And when you start hitting the tired, that's when the battle proficiency of your troops, the way they actually fight the battle, starts slipping off the edge of a cliff, and their morale will be lower as well. So I don't really want to put my troops into any combat situation yet, because they're in a tired situation. They need a rest. I did say that to my teammates. Try not to get involved till my troops have got over there and rested. But as you can see, they've gone straight in there. And as I say, as we thought, we looked at earlier, those forward units of Pontus have now been routed by those Macedonian pikes. So as I say, Carthage here, I think, in behind our Pontus ally there, and then push through our Pontus ally into those Macedonian pikes. That might be a good option. There goes a Cappadocian cavalry charging into that Scipii infantry there, and bang, as they smash in there. Nice hit there by Cleo. Routed 2 of those Scipii infantry units on impact. Nice hit there by Cleo. Nice battlefield awareness. Saw that there was something to be hit there and charged in and hit them just right, routed both those units. You can see Arminius' purple SPQR troops there fighting those blue Scipii troops of Lando's. But that was a nice hit there by the Cappadocian cavalry. Now I remember suggesting to Fesen here that he might want to go over to the other flank and attack Macedon, and that's where he's taken his Carthaginians by the looks of it there. But I think there's a Cappadocian cavalry, looks like it's going to go in again, smashing into the Scipii infantry once again, and bang, as that Cappadocian cavalry smashes in there to that Scipii infantry. Didn't rout any units there, but make no mistake, would have caused some casualties there of enemy troops. I think one of the Cappadocian cavalry has routed as well. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So over here you'll see that Arminius has once again positioned his cavalry in a really good position, got them in wedge formation for more penetration and more impact once he attacks the enemy troops. But you'll see there that Skema there has put his pike units out there to try and counter that cavalry. Now I've got my cavalry over here locked and loaded as well, maybe possibly looking to smash into those Julia units if they try and flank us there. Okay, and if you're looking at the position of my cavalry, I would have the downslope advantages as well. And as I say, my infantry now, I need to rest them, but I can see the situation here is not looking possibly very good for us, so I need to maybe bring my army a lot closer and maybe even put them into combat there. You can see a couple of Arminius' units have been routed there, 3 units actually. And you can see a Cappadocian cavalry unit has been routed as well. That unit may well rally. But as I say, it looks to me like I'm going to have to put my troops possibly straight into battle, but they do need a rest. Over here on our left flank, you'll see that, remember, Scorpion King had 17 infantry units. So he's brought some of them over to this flank here, possibly with a view to flank us there, where his main army, as you can see, he's got 4 units looking there to maybe flank us there. But you can see his main red Julia army can still hold its place in the battle line there because he had so many infantry there. But you can see he's flanking around the side there. And as I say, here you can see Fesen moves his Carthaginians back, hopefully towards the Macedonians there. As I say, remember, Carthage punches above its weight when they fight the big 121-man units, and so he would do very well against Macedon there. And as I say, you can see that Juliite infantry and Scipioite infantry of the enemy there, probably still fully laden with pilers. Right, now here you'll see at this stage of the battle that Cleo has now brought his chariots out of hiding from the woods. Okay, so he's got his chariots there, maybe because he can see the threat to our left flank there of enemy cavalry and infantry moving round. He may well decide to smash into those infantry and cavalry with those chariots. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, can you see that our Carthaginian ally Fesen is moving his Carthage spearmen back from the, if you like, the fighting front line there? Can you see he's brought his units back there? Let's just pause the game for a second there. So he's decided to set up behind the main battle line there, if you like. My infantry's just arrived, tired, and you can see Arminius here. He may well move his infantry back into that Carthage battle formation there. That might be a good tactical move, and even Kleomenis there may decide to move his units back to stop himself being flanked. And I don't think he really wants to fight those Macedonian pikes anymore if he can possibly help it, because of the advantage that they've got with those 3 extra defense points. Okay, so as you can see here, it looks to me like we may well start looking to look a little bit defensive here. Remember, if you go defensive straight away, you hand the initiative to the enemy team, but sometimes in battle you do need to go defensive. Right, as I say here, you can see Arminius's cavalry, as we saw earlier, he'd positioned it well, but he may well need to be careful on that flank because there's a lot of enemy cavalry and infantry there that could move towards him. This is a cheeky little hit by Scorpion King with his armoured cavalry general. Remember, that armoured cavalry general's got 2 hit points there, smashed into one of Arminius's infantry units there. That was a cheeky little hit. But I should imagine he'll pull that cavalry unit out. There you are. He went in there, did the damage he wanted to, and then pulled out. But can you notice here that the enemy team look to me that they're trying to do a right flanking action? In fact, if you notice here, you might notice they're going to hit us on both flanks. Okay, so Julia units there and Macedonian units coming around our right flank, and over on our left flank there you can see a blue Scipioid cavalry and red Juliite infantry coming round, possibly on our left flank there. So it looks to me like they're going to flank us on both sides. And as we thought here, Cleo's decided to bring his Pontus pikes out of the fray there and bring them back towards his allies there. Okay, so there's a lot of tactical movement going on here at the moment. And there you can see Lando's cavalry that charging in, trying to hit Cleo's chariots there. Very aggressive move there by Lando. So Cleo said, okay, you want to hit my chariots? Go ahead, and I'll charge them back into you as well, and I'll bring my Cappadocian cavalry in for good measure as well. So there you are, you can see Lando's cavalry there is being hit by Cleo's chariots and Cappadocian cavalry as well. You'll notice I'm bringing my SBQR cavalry over to this flank as well to help Cleo fight Lando's infantry. Just look at these chariots. Look at the way that these chariots are just chopping up that Scipioid cavalry. Look, chop, chop, there, look. Just chopping up those cavalrymen there. So what those chariots have done, just look at all those dead Scipioid cavalry there that those chariots have just chopped. So well done to Cleo there. Very aggressive countermeasures there against that attack of cavalry by Lando. Okay, let's pause the game for a second. So you've got a pike unit there, plus the chariots chasing off Lando's cavalry. And at the rear here, you'll see that Cleo's moved his pike units back quite a long way there from the main battle line there. And as I say, you can see us forming up a little bit defensive there. Now, and you can see all the enemy troops possibly moving in on us. Now this is a good move here, I think, by the enemy troops looking to flank us there with Scipii troops, Julii troops, and Macedonian pikemen as well. So making them, you know, hitting them with cavalry there, with those Macedonian pikemen involved as well, makes it a little bit more difficult for us there. It's a very nice teamwork here, I think, by the enemy team, and good tactical thinking as well, trying to flank us there. Now they're on the higher part of the ground, you notice that as well. As we move our cavalry back, you can see I'll move my cavalry over here to help counter any attack there, and you can see Arminius are moving his SPQR cavalry back as well. Okay, so here, as I say, you can see the Macedonian pikemen moving forward. You've got some of the green Brutii infantry of Tabor there moving forward, and you can see my troops there, my pilot shield units are out the front of Fesen's infantry there, so I'll take the pilots instead of his infantry there. And as I say, you can see the enemy are building up quite nicely here on our right flank. Okay, make no mistake, that is a definite threat. And look, you can see they're on the higher ground as well. They've taken advantage of this undulating ground there and make sure they're on the higher part there, so they get the down slope bonus when and if they attack. Okay, and also, as I say, they're still attacking us on the left flank. I just want to show you here, those 3 chariots of Cleo now have all run amok. Okay, can you see all 3 of them have now run amok? So they're completely out of control of their general, and I just hope they keep away from our armies, because in amok mode they seem to be even more powerful and could do a lot of damage to our troops if they hit our troops in that amok mode. But as I say, you can see the enemy maybe even looking to move around behind us, and they're coming around on our left flank as well. Okay, so enemy team being very aggressive here, and we're kind of being a bit defensive. A little bit of pilot exchanging going on there between the enemy infantry and my pilot shield units there. As I say, I deliberately got my pilot shield units in front of my Carthage ally, so that my pilot shield units will take the pilots instead of his Carthage units there. But just look at the length of those Macedonian pikes there that we might have to fight down a little bit later on. That's and with the good specifications of those Macedonian pikes as well, that could be very difficult. Right, okay, so over here on our right flank, you'll see quite a large build-up of enemy troops. You see Scorpion King got his red Julii infantry around there. You've got Macedonian pikes, you've got blue Scipii infantry, and you've got the green Brutii cavalry there as well. Now, if you notice here, Cleo's moving his Pontus pikemen over to try and counter that attack on our right flank. Okay, if you notice here, I'm moving my cavalry over with Arminius's cavalry and the Cappadocian cavalry and Arminius's infantry to try and counter this attack on our left flank. Okay, so as you can see, Cleo here is going to try and block and counter the attack on the right flank with his Pontus pikes, and you can see that Arminius and myself here and Cleo's Cappadocian cavalry are trying to block the attack on our left flank. Okay, so there you can see their enemy being very aggressive, and we're on a slightly lower part of the map here as well, so they've got a bit of an advantage there. But there you can see the Cappadocian cavalry charging into the Julii infantry there. Nice move there by Cleo. Bang, as they smash in there. Okay, pause the game for a second here. So over here, we need to keep our troops away from these amok chariots, whatever happens, especially our cavalry. They will chop our cavalry up like there's no tomorrow. Here you can see enemy Scipii troops there being hit by one of our SPQR, by Arminius' SPQR cavalry unit there, smashing into that unit. But you can see Lando taking his Scipii infantry over. Can you see they're frightened by chariots? So even though those chariots are running amok, they've still got a morale effect on enemy troops. The enemy troops are still frightened by those amok chariots there, so their morale will be lower. So that's good news for us. As you can see, I'm going to charge my cavalry now into that clump of enemy troops there. Okay, you can see a few of our troops are routed, but can you see my cavalry going to smash in there now? I'm hoping to rout some of those units. Bang! As my cavalry smashes into those enemy troops there. Routed 3 of their units on impact there. But there are a couple of Macedonian pikes, anti-cavalry Macedonian pikes. The best thing for me to do is now move my cavalry away from those pikes there. Okay. Now remember, the green, the red, and the Macedonians are the enemy. Okay. Green Brutii, red Julii, and Macedonians are the enemy. Here you can see Arminius moving his SBQR troops into the enemy troops there. He's got his cavalry up in the woods there, just chasing off some of, I think, Scipii infantry there. But as I say, already well done to Cleo here and Fesen. Can you see Fesen's brought some of his Carthage Sacred Band units out here to try and counter this attack on our right flank. You can see the enemy have built up quite a strong force there to try and break it in there. They might even try and get in behind us there with some of those Julii units. Watch out for that a little bit later on. Okay, so here, as I say, I've got some of my units countering that attack coming in on my right flank of my infantry, of that Scipii infantry there. But this position here is really strong position for the enemy. Okay, we've exchanged a lot of pilers there, but that position is a really strong position there. There's Lando's cavalry there, maybe looking to smash into the flank of my infantry. But meanwhile here you can see Arminius's infantry there is moving forward. I'm just going to pull my cavalry back to lock and load it to get ready to charge in again. Okay, as I say, you can see Arminius's purple SBQR infantry moving forward onto the enemy troops. Can you see I brought my cavalry back? I've locked and loaded. I'm ready to pull the trigger, and I'm going to charge in to that those enemy troops there, and hopefully going to rout some of those units there. You can see some of the enemy units starting to rout already under the pressure from Arminius. And what I'd like to see is Arminius's cavalry smash into the enemy troops as my cavalry does. Right, here comes my cavalry. Get ready for this. Bang! They smash into those enemy troops. Look at all those enemy troops routing on impact as my cavalry smashes into them there. And there you can see Arminius has brought his cavalry down as well. Right. So this is good news for us. We've absolutely smashed and stopped the enemy attack on our left flank. Can you see all those troops that were going to attack our left flank have now been routed there? So that's really good news for us. We've done well on the left flank here, but on our right flank, as we thought here, you can see that Scorpion King is getting some of his Julii troops in behind us there, maybe even trying to smash into the back of our Carthage ally over there as well. But as I say, that's a very strong force there coming in on our right flank and have now got behind us as well. Okay, so we've done well on the left flank, but the right flank is under a heck of a lot of pressure. So we need to move our victorious troops from the left flank now to try and counter what's going on behind us and on our right flank, as you can see. So let's say here, a lot of pressure here on our right flank. I think Cleo's doing really well, and Fesen there at holding as well as they have. You can see Arminius bringing his SPQR infantry over, and we've got our cavalry locked and loaded as well to charge into the enemy troops. You can see Arminius looking to charge his cavalry into that Julii cavalry. Get ready for this, like, bang! Smashes in there, but he needs to move his cavalry back. Those anti-cavalry Macedonian pikemen are moving in on him there. Good move by Arminius. Move his cavalry back before he comes into contact with those Macedonian pikemen there. But as I say, a lot of pressure there. You can see Arminius has brought his infantry over as well now to try and block the attack coming in behind us. But things not looking very good there, I don't think. A lot of enemy troops there really trying to break us here on this right flank. And as you can see, have got in behind us as well. Okay. So not very good. I've got my cavalry there as well, locked and loaded, ready to charge into enemy troops if needed. But can you see here that Tabor has brought his cavalry out of the woods? I think he had his cavalry hiding in the woods somewhere, and he's now brought them out there fresh, full units there. Could smash into Arminius's infantry there, or could go after our cavalry there. Remember, our cavalry have been in combat, so we'll have battle damage units. He's got full fresh units there. Okay, so over here you can see the enemy Brutii infantry is now attacking the forward units of my battle formation there. Okay, so you've got all those Brutii. This is a very strong defensive position here for the enemy. I think that's a really strong position there. And look at the length of those pikes there, a line of pikes there. very, very difficult for Roman troops to try and penetrate these pikes, especially there's no gaps between the pike units, you see. As we know, Skema is really good with Macedon. That's his second faction of choice, and he's got really good with them, and that position is extremely strong. A strong defensive position there, and I think it enables them to have confidence to attack at the rear there. Now I'm thinking of doing something a bit unusual here, and I'm thinking about doing an old school, old-fashioned surge attack. Okay, now I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm looking at the battle situation behind us, and I think we need to do something here, because I don't think things are going to look very good behind us there. As I say, this is a really strong enemy position here, and what I'm thinking about doing, as I say, is an old school surge attack. Now the Macedonian pikemen, we know, have not got very good morale, and we know they haven't got a lot of upgrades on them either. So we know their morale's low, not a lot of upgrades. Now what I'm thinking is, if I surge attack here, and these Brutii infantry rout and start running through those Macedonian pikemen, the routing troops lower the morale of those Macedonian pikemen even more. So what I'm thinking here is rout the Brutii infantry so they run through the Macedonian pikes, lower the morale of the Macedonian pikes, and as my infantry surges into those Macedonian pikes may well rout. You see the thinking, what I'm thinking here? We know there's not a lot of upgrades on those Macedonian pikes, so an old school, old-fashioned surge attack might well do the trick here, but I wouldn't normally do it because of this massive line of Macedonian pikes there. But I feel, looking at the battle situation behind us, something radical needs to be done here, and so I'm going to try and attack and try and disrupt the battle plan of the enemy team there, if I can. Okay, but at the rear of us here, as I say, a lot of pressure on our units there. I think Arminius, Cleo, and those Carthage units of Fesen's doing extremely well. I'm trying to use my cavalry the best I can as well over there to help Arminius's cavalry there. We just routed a lot of Scipio units there. Can you see both my cavalry and Arminius's cavalry smashing there? But there comes the fresh units of Tabor. Those Brutii cavalry are now coming in behind us now, look. Fresh full units coming in, smashing into Arminius' infantry, smashing into our cavalry there. Oh my gosh. And I can see some enemy Scipii infantry, rallied infantry probably coming in as well. So the situation here, to me, it doesn't look very good. You can see some of Arminius' units are starting to rout already. As I say, I think Cleo's been holding really well there, along with those Carthage units of Fesen's, but they've been under a lot of pressure and been fighting for a long time, so they're going to be tired and battle damaged. And with that fresh cavalry and those rallied infantry coming in behind us here, I don't think this battle behind us is particularly looking very good. Okay, you can see there a lot of pressure there on our rear and flank there. Oh my gosh. You can see that Julii infantry are now being put into the battle as well. Oh my gosh, there's lots going on here. Right, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So here you can see, I think all of Arminius' cavalry has just been routed. Okay, so that's all of Arminius' cavalry, and I think several of his infantry units have been routed as well. Here you can see I've got my cavalry charging into the Julii infantry here. You can see, as I say, Cleo still holding with his Pontus pikes. But there's two distinct battles going on here. The battle behind us, look, which doesn't look very good, and this battle here, where they've got that really strong, really confident defensive position there, which I'm about to, just to give you a heads up on that, I'm just about to surge attack into it as best I can. I think at this stage of the battle we need to disrupt them, we need to draw units from behind us over to this part of the battlefield, and our team needs to do something here, or I think this battle could be lost. Look how aggressive Tabor's being with his green Brutii infantry attacking my SPQR units. You've got a couple of Fesen's units in there as well. His Carthage Sacred Band holding as well. Right, watch my infantry. Here comes the old school, old-fashioned surge attack. Right, see my infantry surging forward now into that Brutii infantry, and bang! bang, as they smash in there. Right, I'm trying to rout some of those Brutii units. I want those routing Brutii units to run through their Macedonian ally to lower the morale of those Macedonian pikes before my SBQR infantry hits those pikes. That's what I'm looking to do. I want to see those Brutii units rout and start going through their Macedonian allies. And you can see my SBQR troops are surge attacking over and over again. Now what I need now is for Fesen maybe to get his Carthage Sacred Band in on the flank there. I need these units here to be pushing in onto those Macedonian pikes as well to help the surge attack, okay, against those Macedonian pikes. Okay, at the rear here you can see a lot of enemy units have been routed there, so well done to Fesen and Cleo. They've done an incredible job at holding, but you can still see a lot of enemy Julii troops there pushing forward there into Arminius' infantry. You can see some Macedonian pikemen there as well. So I think things are still in the balance on that flank, and you've still got the green Brutii cavalry here, the fresh Brutii cavalry of their Brutii ally there, Tabor. Could charge in there and could change the whole concept of what's going on behind us here. But here, as I say, my SBQR army is surge attacking, but we need those Carthage Sacred Band units to press in on those Macedonian units to help the surge attack. Okay, that's what we need. I think that's Arminius. His general's just been killed. Right, can you see my SBQR army surging? I'm still surging into those pikes there. Okay, my units now have fought their way down through the pikes and are now actually engaging those Macedonian pikemen there. Can you see that? I'm actually engaging them. The Brutii infantry, as I say, has routed there, so they will be lowering the morale of those Macedonian pikes. But it's important that the Carthage Sacred Band units charge in as well to help. Can you see that Scipii cavalry unit just smashed into the rear of my surging troops there? But as I say, these Carthaginian troops need to be pushed in really aggressively into those Macedonian troops. Here, look, these Carthage troops need to be pushed in hard as well, just to help the surge attack. That's what I need, those Carthage troops to push it. There's a Brutii cavalry unit that's like he's going to smash in behind me as well there. And at the rear here, you'll see, as I say, Cleo and Fesen been doing really well with Carthage and those Pontus pikes there holding the enemy up. But over here you can see that Brutii cavalry smashing into the rear of those Pontus pikes there, and you can see Julii infantry attacking them. There's Macedonian pikemen in there as well. So lots of things happening all over the battlefield at once here. But we need those Carthage Sacred Band units to really push in with my units. See that cavalry unit, bang, smashed into the back of my surging infantry. Right, can you see my SBQR infantry is really pushing in to those Macedonian pikes there. Really putting a lot of pressure on those pikes. But these Carthaginian Sacred Band, be aggressive, Carthage. Really push in there, go on. Really push in there, help the surge attack here. And see those, I can see some Carthage units just stood there at the moment, not doing a lot, but they need to be brought in just to assist the surge attack here. Okay, so you can see my units still surging forward, but those Carthage units here need to be brought in. Remember what we talk about, battlefield awareness. That's where you keep one eye on what's going on right in front of you, but you keep your eye on the other eye on the rest of the battlefield to help out where needed. So these Carthage Sacred Band troops need to be really aggressively used here to help my troops in their surge attack against all these enemy troops. But we have made inroads, as you can see, into that really tough defensive position that the enemy troops did have there. So I can see Carthage units there not being used at the moment, but they need to all be brought in. I can see my army has been reduced a lot. I've lost a lot of troops in that surge attack there, but I'm still surging forward. You can see some of my troops like have surged through the Macedonian battle line. They've got in behind them now. Can you see that? So we managed to break through the Macedonian line there with the surge attack. But see those Carthage units there, they need to be brought in to help there against the Macedonian pikes there. As I say, you can see my army's been greatly reduced. Lost a lot of troops in that surge attack there, and I can see some of my troops starting to rout now. But we've done what we want to do. We've really kind of decimated that really tough enemy position there between us. And you can see, I think that's a Macedonian general's just been routed as well. There's still Macedonian pike units there, but the Carthage units, I think, are going to have to take over from my SPQR units. My units have been so battle depleted now that the Carthage troops are going to need to take over. Now over here, you can see there, remember the enemy are the Red Julii, the Macedonians, and the Brutii, their cavalry, charging into Cleo's pike units there. Cleo's still holding really well. There's another cavalry unit going to smash into his general unit like a bang as it smashes in there. I can't believe how well Cleo's holding with those Pontus pikemen there. Really doing well there. So, but there's a lot of pressure on those Pontus pikes. It wouldn't surprise me if they broke. Okay, but meanwhile over here, as you can see, we've routed a lot of those Macedonian pikes, and we've weakened a lot of those Macedonian pike units as well. All the Brutii infantry has been routed that was attacking the forward units of my battle formation there. So that's good news. We've done well there, Fesen and myself. And you already got Fesen's got a couple of units there, not doing anything at the moment. Maybe they could draw in there to counter those enemy troops, possibly, or he could bring them over to the other part of the battlefield over there as well. He could do that. But as I say, over here, I think Fesen and myself did well. That was a really strong position for the enemy there, with all that Brutii infantry and those Macedonian pikes, and I think we've done really well at kind of breaking that position, really. And you can see more Carthage troops being brought in there against those Macedonian pikes. My SPQR troops are still fighting, look, still fighting those Macedonian pikes. I haven't got enough now for a surge attack, but I'm still putting them in against those pikes, trying to take those Macedonian pikemen out there. Here I can see a group of enemy troops there, Macedonian and Julii infantry coming over into the fray now. But I think if Fesen turns his Carthaginians to face that threat, I think his Sacred Band units will hold against those enemy units there. The Brutii general's just been routed, as you can see, and I think there's just one Macedonian pike unit left now. You can see my SPQR troops attacking them. See there that the Pontus general's just been routed after a massive battle there. You can see my SPQR troops are still fighting this last Macedonian pike unit there. Still trying to get in between those pikemen. Can you see my SPQR infantry there have got into those pikemen there and really trying to kill them off. But you can see a lot of enemy troops pressing in, Julii infantry there. But as I say, looking at Fesen's Carthaginian army there, I think he's going to hold. And over here, my lone cavalryman. There you are. That's the last cavalryman I've got left there. No wonder he's unhappy over taking casualties. He's the last guy left. Now, should I charge him into the rear of the enemy troops, or should I just leave him there? I'll probably just leave him there, because he won't do a lot of good. I just charge him and he'll be killed, so I'll leave him there. But as I say, the Carthaginian army doing really well. We've just routed the last Macedonian pike unit there, so that's really good news for us. And oh my gosh, it looks like we have gone on to win the battle there. Yeah, it looks like we just managed to do that, but at a great cost. That's all the troops we basically got left now out of all 4 of our armies. Okay, if you look at my troops there alone, can you see I've got 7 men left in that unit? Is it 7 men yet? 7 men left in that unit. 13 men left in that unit. 16 in that one. 4 men in that unit. Oh my gosh, is that 1 man? I think there's 1 man left there. Here we are, 1 man left in that unit. That's it. And my general. I got my general left with 2 men left in him there. He's just got 2 men left in my general unit, including my general, I believe, somewhere in amongst those troops there. So that's the entirety of my army. Remember, I started off with 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. That's all I've got left. Now, Cleo here, after a fantastic hold, he's got 1 unit left with 3 men. That's all he's got left. 1 unit left with just 3 men in. That's all That's the entirety of his army. And I believe, if I remember correctly, Arminius has only got 1 unit left as well, there, with 4 men in. And that's all. So Cleo and Arminius have just got 1 unit left out of the whole of their armies. Oh my gosh. So that just goes to show how tough this battle was. And if we look over here, the rear battle here, it was like 2 distinct battles, wasn't it? The rear and flank battles here, you can see just by the piles of dead how intense the fighting was at the rear here and on the flanks. Oh my gosh, just look at that. You just tell, as I say, by the amount of dead. I think that's where the chariots there and the cavalry hit enemy troops there at that particular part of the battlefield there. You can see. Then we move over into the main center, if you like, of the battle, and you can just see how intense the fighting was here. I mean, oh my gosh, just look at that. See that line of my SPQR troops there? That was when they hit the Macedonian battle line. That's when they surged forward and hit those pikes. That's why there's so many dead there, as they ran into those pikes. Suffered a lot of casualties there, and I wouldn't normally do that, but I just thought we needed to do something in this battle because things weren't looking very good. There's a line of pikemen, dead pikemen there. That might be Pontus pikemen there, what the Macedonians did to them, I think. So, as I say, a lot of Carthage troops left, so well done to Fesen. And as I say, there's my lone cavalryman left there. I can see him there. And as I say, that's our armies have managed to go on to win the battle there. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is I thought everybody in the game played well. Everybody played well there, so really well done. An average victory. Now that really surprised me. Looking at the troops that we had left, I thought we would have definitely been close. So that must have just edged into average there. So as I say, I would have put money on it being close actually before I saw this. Highest kills in the game unusually goes to myself. What's that, about 45 kills off of 2,000. So I'm very pleased with that there. But it's very unusual for me to get the highest kills. Remember, I've only got the highest kills because of how well my teammates played. Well done to Lando. He got less than 1,000 kills, so he'll be a bit disappointed by that. But he was very, very aggressive. Well done to Skema. He got the 2nd highest kills in the game with his Macedonians there, his 2nd faction of choice. So well done to Skema, did really well. Well done to Scorpion King, got some good kills there with his army. And well done to Tabor, he got over 1,000 kills as well. So really well played, guys. Great battle there. Well done to Arminius there, got some good kills as well. Really good defending as well. He was all over the battlefield. Well done to Fesen, he did well with his Carthaginians. Just like to show you how many troops he's got left as well in comparison to all the rest of us. Loads of troops left there, so well done to him. And well done to Greek Kleomenis there, 3rd highest kills in the game with Pontus. So really well done there to Kleomenis there. Faction advantage, well, they got Rome, Macedon, Rome and Rome. I think that's quite a strong combination. And we've got Rome, Carthage and Pontus. So that's quite a strong combination as well. So I don't think there was any real advantage there. So just to say, you can see we still have great battles on Rome Total War. The most popular nights are Friday, Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to join us, come and join us. And if we get into a good battle, you might see yourself on this YouTube channel. Okay, so you'd like to join us, that would be great. It's Spartan Commander, so I hope you enjoyed the battle. Please leave a comment. It's always nice to read what you think about our battles, or a thumbs up. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.